the scenic route. So for people who know me, I'm from a very small town outside Edinburgh called Gorebridge. And the traditional route for most people, most teachers, and I'm sure like students in this school, in this room will think, oh, this is what most teachers do. They go to school, they go to uni, and then you get a career. But no, not me. So when I was at school, I was not academic, like at all. And I was always late. I was best friends with the office staff because they're like, morning, Toni, you again. I pretty much only ever made it in, maybe at period 2. It was just the way it was. I did enjoy school, but I think I enjoyed the social side more than actually going to classes and things. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do with myself, and so I'd definitely say that to kids in the audience, like it's okay, it's absolutely fine not to know what you want to do. So I didn't know what to do, so I just thought I'll just stay into 6th year and kind of put off real life as long as possible. And this is my bit that I'm going to share, so no judging. Now, before you see this, you have to understand that the qualifications have changed. So when it says general, it's basically the equivalent of National 4. And when it says foundation, it's basically the equivalent of National 3. And when it says intermediate 2, same sort of thing, it's National 4. And then when it says intermediate 1, it's kind of National 3. So I feel like maybe I'm getting judged by my kids in the back row. So in 4th year, this is what I achieved. So these are actual pictures of my qualifications. And as you can see, I did music, social subjects, computing science, English, maths, so on. But we've got general, and then foundation. So that is National 4s and National 3s across the board. Then in 5th year, of course, we get our subjects narrowed down. And I have got intermediate 2, which is our National 4, and then 3 National 3 qualifications. And then 6th year, I cannot tell you what happened, but this is what I left with. 1 qualification at intermediate 2, an A though, so a National 4, basically equivalent. And it's really just to say, like, it's absolutely fine if you don't do well at school because that does not define you. And hopefully I'm kind of evidence of this as you see my slides go on. But you can see the one constant, if I've got computing science, information systems, and then information systems was the only qualification I left with in 6th year. I have no idea what happened. But I want to tell you what's happened since then. So first of all, I started at HNC in Julianesque Valley College, so now that's Edinburgh College, so this is in Dalkeith. And I was really proud and I was loving it and it was great. But then I dropped out with a month to go. I have no idea why. And so I enrolled in my HNC again. And I really do want to give a big shout out to the college lecturers and the university lecturers and the teachers because I would not be where I am today without them. Because what I haven't put up here is I dropped out with a month to go and then I actually didn't apply to go to the HNC again. I got a phone call from a college lecturer at the time where they were intaking pupils saying, have you applied, Toni? Are you coming back? And I was like, I'd really like to, but I've missed the deadline. And the amazing person, Chris Sinclair, I'll never forget her, says, don't worry about it, we've got you a place, we'll see you on Monday. And if it wasn't for her, I genuinely have no idea where I would have been. So I'm proud to say I managed to complete that HNC. Then I went on to Telford College, and I done my HND. And throughout this journey as well, you have to understand that the Edinburgh College, this is out like at Stevenson's Way, like quite far away outside Edinburgh. My family didn't have a car at the time, so I was like 16, 17-year-old. I had to get like 2 buses. It was a trek, but I'm really proud to say it's totally worth it. And then my college lecturer convinced me to go to university. Because I was one of those kids, like you see my grades, I was that kid in the audience when they have university lecturers come in and go to university, it's great, it's amazing. Like you write all these essays and it's fantastic. But then I'm sitting there going, I didn't even have my higher English. Like, I'm never going to university. So I'd ruled out university from like a very young age. But then, again, the same woman, Chris Sinclair, was like, you're going to university. We went on an open day to Napier University, I'm pleased to say, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I went and completed my Bachelor's of Honours degree in computing at Napier. And then this is when my life sort of turned. So I'm really pleased to say I actually won an award for my dissertation, and I got funding, and I managed to go around the whole of Scotland to all the universities and phoned universities all by myself, and I actually managed to present my findings to the company. So it was looking at Turn It In, so it's a plagiarism service. And for that, for me, a wee lassie for Gorebridge with no hires was insane. So I kind of thought I'd reached my peak at that age. And then I decided I want to be a computing science teacher. I actually did want to be a college lecturer, and then I was like, oh, I kind of want to be a university lecturer. This is great, because throughout my life, I always met someone really inspiring. So Hazel Hall, fantastic lecturer, and she was the one who kind of inspired me, and I managed to get the awards through her. Like, she was amazing, and again, a woman I'll never forget. And then I realised, actually, who are you kidding, Toni? You don't have higher English. Like, I'm going nowhere. Like, I cannot be Hazel Hall, I cannot be Chris Sinclair, because they're too clever. So I thought, I'm going to be a computing science teacher, but again, I have got no higher English, so what am I going to do? So I decided I would go on to a course at Stevenson's College, so it was called Literature 1 and Communications 4. So by completing this, you get an equivalent to a higher English B. But what happens is when I was at high school, my first couple of weeks at high school, my English teacher asked me to do a talk, and she couldn't hear me, so then she asked me to do it again, couldn't hear me, asked me to do it a third time, and I refused. So throughout the 6 years at my high school, the reason that I didn't complete English is because you had to complete a solo talk, and I point blank refused because she had put me off. So I had kind of avoided English throughout my whole entire life. And then, so when it came to having to get English, it was really, really scary. And I was so worried about, I wanted to be a computing science teacher, but I do not have higher English. How am I going to do this? That while completing my qualification at Stevenson, at the same time, I was also completing night school because I genuinely didn't think I was going to get it. But proud to say I've got a higher B. I've actually got 2 higher Bs now on my qualification, thank you. But while I was doing night school, to sit that exam, I had to go in an exam hall with my friend's little sisters. And that was embarrassing, but it's just to really say, don't give up. Just because you might not have the grades that you want to do something just now, don't give up. It doesn't mean that it's the end of your story. And then I completed my Strathclyde degree to become a teacher, and I was immensely proud, and I thought it was the best thing I would ever achieve. But I was very, very wrong, because my journey is still going. But if you told 12-year-old Toni that this is what I was going to do, I would never have believed you. So what happened next? I am now a computing science teacher at St Kentigern's Academy, and I've been there for 8 years now, and I absolutely love it. It is one of the best jobs in the world, and I would never, ever dream of changing it. It's hard, but it's brilliant. And then I completed my master's degree, again, not bad for a kid from Gorebridge, no higher English. Master's degree at Stirling University, and again, my aspirations throughout my whole life have just kept changing. I was like, oh, I could do that. And again, hearing people talk, like Gillian and Eamon, I'm like, do you know what, I could do more. And it's just, don't ever limit yourself to anything. Don't ever let anybody tell you you cannot do something, because if you want to do it, you absolutely can. There is nothing stopping you. And see, if you do get people saying, can't do that, just don't listen to them. Go find the good people. And then I founded my own charity. So again, wee lassie for Gorebridge, no higher qualification, not even higher English at school, leaving with National 4s, National 3s, got her master's degree as a teacher, and now is a founder of a charity. It's a charity I'm so proud of, and it's called dressCode, and it's about basically trying to close the gender gap and get more girls into computing science. And then kind of thought, that's me, reached my pinnacle, I'm done. But then I got a major sponsorship, and I'm actually working with JP Morgan, who sponsor dressCode as well. And kind of thought that was it. But then these are all these amazing things that have happened, and I would never have dreamed that they would happen to me, a girl from Gorebridge with no hires, with National 3, National 4 qualifications. So won an awards. I'm actually more embarrassed about this slide than my poor qualifications, but I've won lots of awards, and like Jackie says, I'm up for 2 awards this year as well, which is unbelievable, and my charity is also up for an award as well, so that's great. I've been a speaker at lots of events. I have worked with industry. I've worked with the amazing data lab like Edinburgh and Napier University, Skills Development Scotland, and Skye, wherever Ronnie is. It's incredible, and it's amazing to have those industries actually wanting to work with someone like me and do something and actually take some action. Global campaign as well. I've been part of a global campaign. I've been at Parliament given evidence about STEM and also mentioned for, got recognised in 2 motions at Parliament for my work. It's incredible. And the future, who knows, but I just again know that my ambitions and my vision keep shifting. Little pieces of advice and things I have learned along the way and hopefully will stop you from leaving school with nothing and maybe trying a bit harder than what I did. Qualifications, it's fine. Don't worry if you don't have them just yet, because you can get them. It's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what stage you are, it doesn't matter your circumstances. There's online education, there's night schools. It can be done. Do not be put off just because you don't have something just yet. Confidence, believe in yourself. And like I said, find those people who believe in you and who can help you. Don't listen to the people who tell you can't. I've been told I can't plenty of times. I remember the first time I spoke about dress code and thought, oh, I might want to make it a charity. People laughed at me and they're like, Toni, you're a teacher, what are you doing? You've got no money, you can't be done. And look at me now, I'm proud to say it's hopefully going to be an award-winning charity. Opportunities, similar to what Gillian was saying, grab every opportunity you can get. Even if you are a bit like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, just do it, just take it on, because the things that they lead to is just absolutely amazing. The sponsorship from JP Morgan actually came from me doing a 5-minute talk, and a guy approached me and was like, oh, tell me the vision, and I told him the vision, and I had no idea who he was, and he was like, I can help you, here's my card, and then off the back of that, I managed to get a major sponsorship. And be happy. I absolutely love being a computing science teacher, and I absolutely love doing dress code. And it is a lot of work, but don't ever underestimate how much being happy can help. If you're happy and you do and love your job and stuff, it's fine, it's okay. So these are the kind of tips I would like to give you, and hopefully something that you can take away with yourself. And then again, just one last thing is it doesn't matter what age you are. So I know I've got some incredible people in the back row who I know they're going to be doing amazing things. But even if you're 15, even if you're 16, doesn't matter. Do not think that you have to be 21 or whatever to make a difference in the world. You absolutely can. Just ask for help, because Jackie had mentioned, my 2 girls in the back, they are up for a national award and they're just 16. It can happen, and it absolutely can happen to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Toni. I think there's some really good messages in that, and some of them go back to what Gillian was saying about being resilient. I went back to do my computing degree when I was 25, and I was petrified because it'd been a long time since I was in school. And in my first year, I found it really, really hard, and I failed my maths exam because it was a long time since I'd done maths. And I was really, really dented my confidence and really thought I was never going to make it through that degree. But again, a good lecturer coached me through it. I managed to find a way through it and got the qualification in the end. So what I would say to all of our students and to all of the school pupils that are here, if you struggle during the course of the next few weeks or months on your course, let us know about it, because we can help you. Because some things are hard. Some things like higher English and higher maths, these are quite hard qualifications to achieve. I mean, we don't want things like that to get in the way of you actually achieving your HNC, your HND, your NC, whatever it is you're studying at the college, so please let us know. It's a fantastic presentation, and good luck to Toni. I think it's Toni and Clara, is it your pupils that are up for the award? And I have to declare an interest here. I'm actually on the judging panel for the Scottish Women in Technology Awards. And it's going to take a lot, I think, to beat what Toni's in. And finally, I would just say what a privilege it is for West Lothian to have a teacher and a national ambassador like Toni and the pupils that work for us. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working more with you in the months ahead. Thank you. So moving on to our next speaker is Ronnie Corse. So Ronnie is Head of Technology at Sky, which is based in Livingston. I think I'm right in saying Sky is the biggest private sector employer in Livingston, but Ronnie can correct me or disabuse me of that if I'm wrong. I went to visit Ronnie recently, and just during the course of that visit, bumped into one of our former HNC students who's now working there. Ronnie told me that they've got, I think, an HNC or an HND student from the college who is now working there, and they're sponsoring through a graduate apprenticeship at Heriot-Watt University, and he's supporting others to go to Napier and work part-time at Sky while they do it. So Sky is a really important employer for the computing students in the room and the pupils in the room that are interested in technology, and I'd like you to join me in welcoming Ronnie to talk a little bit about careers and what it means for them in Sky. Thank you.
This one. Good morning. What a brilliant morning. Toni's just amazing. I've heard Toni talk several times in the past, and inspirational. I can tell you if I put my qualifications up, there'd be less than what Toni got. So absolutely everything she said is right. I'm Ronnie Corse, the Sky. Who's your favourite team? Do you hear that a lot? I hear that a lot. What team do you support? It's right up there with what's your name, where do you work, what team do you support? Assumption being that you're a football fan. You know, I'm a bloke, so I'm a football fan. The thing is, I don't really like football. I love football. I could talk on football forever. Jackie, you better start your watch, because I could get out of hand here. But we always talk about teams, and we're in business. We started using these analogies, sporting analogies for teams. And you quite often you see pictures like this, especially if you work at a company like Sky and you see like the magnificent Manchester City team. And we try and make this an analogy to how we work in Sky. How do you become part of that team? Or maybe this team, the Wasps netball team. You know, we use these images to demonstrate what a team is all about. And this one, the Formula One pit crew changing Sebastian Vettel's 4 tyres within 3 seconds so he can get back on the track. It's quite hard sometimes to make these analogies stick, but we keep using them. The winning team, the team in celebration. I'm going to come back to this image a bit later. Does anyone know what team that is? I'll tell you later. It might become apparent. Well, what is a team? So you guys, honestly, you've heard it this morning. You've got such an opportunity in front of you. The way that technology is developing in this part of the world, you've got such an opportunity. The opportunity is mostly going to be joining a team. You might be leading a team. You'll certainly be part of a team. But the opportunity is there. So maybe start asking, what is a team? So I did this and had a look, and usual thing you do, you Google, what is a team? You come up with these analogies and these definitions. A group of players forming one side in a competitive game or sport. So that's kind of what I've talked about, the Manchester City, Ferrari F1, Wasps netball team. It doesn't really work, though, when you start talking about it in a business context or in an industry context. 2 or more people working together, well, that's closer. That you can understand that a little better. That's maybe more closer of what you're going to expect when you start going into teams in the workplace. This one, I think, is better, though. A group of individuals working to go towards their goal, to achieve their goal, their collective goal. But the really important point there is this word, individual. You are an individual. You're part of a team, but you are an individual. Like these people working together. They are individuals, absolutely, but they're working together. Concentration towards an end goal. Again, this may not be the type of environment you go into, it may be, but it's probably not going to be. You're more likely to see something like this. This is more like the team that you will either be part of just now, or maybe more likely the type of team you will join, a business team, working together. You can just get from that image, they are working together. There's collaboration, teamwork going on there. Here's another image, that this is very typical of the way you'll see in my office, in Gillian's office, in Eamon's office. This is the type of way we work together. This is where you get the best out of people working together. That's where the strength comes. And there's another image. This is more like what you're going to see. A group of individuals working together. So we've defined that. That's what a team is. Maybe we need to start thinking about what is an individual. You know, I mentioned you are individuals. You're all individuals. A resource. There's a word. You know, that word quite often gets used in the place of a person. A resource is just so informal and formal rather. It doesn't really get to the essence of what that person is. A team member, certainly, we've talked about that. But someone who is unique, that's right, you're all the same. You're all unique, every one of you. You've all got your own perspective. You've all got your own point of view. You've all got your own motivation. That's what's really important. And someone who's included. So this brings together this concept of, if you're in a team, you're included. You have to be included. You're important to that team. You're part of that group. Joining the team. Right, so it sounds, and sometimes can feel a little intimidating. You're the new person. You're the new person who's come into this slick, functioning team. You know, if you think back to that image of the pit crew for F1, Ferrari F1 team, they know absolutely what they're doing. They've got that nailed. They've practiced it time and time again. It's just like business. We absolutely know what we're doing every second of the day. You think that's the truth? No, it's not. So one thing to bear in mind, wherever you go, wherever you work, whatever team you join, they may be a great team, they may be a high-functioning team, but not everyone knows what they're doing every second of the day. There is room for improvement. And that's why you've been asked to be included within that team. That's why you've been selected. You've been selected because of your perspective, what you bring to that team, your opinion. It's quite scary joining the team, though. You know, that's, like I say, you're the one person who's joining that team. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about maybe some things I've learned, some things I've observed, as to how you can maybe deal with that, how you can succeed in that. If you're lucky, it doesn't always happen, but if you're lucky, you'll join the team at the same time as other people. That could be part of an apprentice intake, a graduate intake. It might just be you're joining on the same day as someone else who's in a similar position to you. That's really important. You know, that gives you someone that you can talk to, someone you can compare and contrast with, someone you can bounce ideas off, someone you can ask questions for. It doesn't always happen. And more often than not, and certainly in my case, anytime I've joined a new team, I've been the new person on my own. You can develop your technical skills. You know, that absolutely is an important thing. You know, most of you are going through some sort of development right now, whether it's at school, whether it's at college. You're going to continue that perhaps in university. You're going to develop those technical skills. It doesn't stop once you leave college, school, or university. It continues into the workplace. You're going to continue to develop your technical skills. That's really important. But other elements of development are just as important, sometimes more important. Learning from others, possibly one of the biggest ones. How do you learn from someone who's been there, who's been through the steps you've done? So we mentioned we've got some college students at our, we're lucky enough to have, I think, 2 or 3 of the college students at our workplace now in Livingston. Anyone else coming in to that environment can learn from these guys. They've been through that. They've been through the hard part, that day one, walking through the door. I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone else knows what they're doing. I'm the only one who doesn't know. Well, we can break that straight away and say, well, you know, this is what I did. This is how I learned. This is who I met. This is who I spoke to. And that really is the big thing, you know, learning from other people, learning what they do, learning how they've gone through that process that you're about to go through, maybe already are going through. Mentioned individuals before. You're an individual. How do you express your individuality? It's a bit daunting, you know, you're going into this brand new environment. You've got a qualification maybe. So let me give you another piece of advice. You were not selected just because of your qualification. You were not selected because of your knowledge just of cybersecurity or coding or infrastructure. You were selected because you're you. So you've got a point of view, you've got a perspective. So get comfortable in expressing your point of view. You know, that again seems a little daunting. But that's why you're there. That's why we've hired you. It's so we can learn from you. Even on day one, you've got a perspective and a point of view that we don't have. We maybe have forgotten some of the basics. We maybe don't know about some of the new things. But you as an individual bring that with you. So, be comfortable. That's why you're here. Be comfortable in expressing that opinion. And then you can start teaching others. So I mentioned, we've got, whether it's apprentices, graduates, interns who have been through that process, they can then in turn deliver that to other people who then benefit from that. And the team dynamic, here's one of these words or phrases that you'll hear. What is the team dynamic? It's important. It's just the way the team work. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that, but it's very important. Teams are a group of individuals. Everyone's unique. Sometimes teams do really well. Sometimes teams don't do so well. Now, remember this picture? So, I mentioned I love football. I'm going to tell you how much I love football. I follow the Scottish Cup, the oldest football tournament in the world. Last year I went from round 1 through to the final, took in a game in every round. This was round 3. This is East Kilbride. East Kilbride have just scored the winning goal in the last minute against Gallifreydine to take them into the next round. This photograph I took, I was about 5 yards away from them when I took that photograph. And it just expresses that joy of a team winning. The exuberance. We've done it. Brilliant, we've done it. Let's take a further look at this picture. And take a look at the guys on the outside. That's Gallifreydine. Look at this guy here on his hands and knees. The desperation of defeat. Now, hopefully, in the teams that you work in, you will never have to feel that level of desperation. But your team will go through highs and lows. You will have good days, you will have bad days, you will have great days. You will equally have really bad days. The team is what gets you through that. And you have to recognize that maybe you're having a great day, someone else in the team isn't having a great day. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're the guy who's, thinking, where does this end? How do we get through this? I'm open, be very open with you. You will have bad days at work. Everyone does. You heard Gillian talking about resilience earlier on. And that's the key. That's one of the things you will develop. You already have that. You maybe don't know to the depth of what you have, but you do have resilience. And, this is a good example, one of these little quirks of fate. The week after, this ended 1-0, Gallifreydine out of the cup, East Kilbride through to the next round. But the very next week, the same fixture in the Lowland League. It was the same teams at the same venue. So they came back 1 week later. So this team, who are at the lowest point they've been probably all season, to pick themselves up, get themselves prepared, 3 o'clock next Saturday, they're back ready for kick-off. And you know what? They got hammered 3-0. Well, what can I tell you? This is not Hollywood, this is the Scottish Lowland League. And these things happen. But the key thing was they picked themselves up as a team and got back in the game. And you will learn that as you go through your own journey, your own development. Being part of the team means you get those highs, you also get those lows, but you're together as a team. That's it. Thank you very much.